Zia Cooking. My name is Carrie and I'm glad you're here. We are going to be creating chili rellenos in the kitchen today, and that is a lovely, wonderful New Mexico meal. Sometimes it can be a little scary to try to create some chili rellenos in your own kitchen, and I'm going to break it down for you. Now this is a brave something I'm going to be doing today, a brave attempt at delicious food on camera. So follow along because I'm going to break this into 3 easy steps and show you how you can create this in your own home. If you're coming back, welcome again. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate all the feedback and the thumbs up you've been giving me. And if you haven't taken time to subscribe, make sure you let me know you were here in my kitchen today by subscribing to our show today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting with our famous hatch green chili. And I'm going to create these chili rellenos in 2 different delicious styles. The first one we're going to make is with a traditional egg batter dip that we'll be dipping our cheese stuffed chilies into. And that's the type of relleno you would find probably at your grandma's house or maybe at your auntie's house. And the other one I'm going to be creating today is a delicious, lovely, crispy, beer battered fried chili relleno. So let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be using our famous hatch green chili. I'm lucky enough that a farmer gave me some chilies to sample and share with you guys today. So we're going to be using a medium hot, and this is a big Jim chili. And so these is what a fresh chili looks like, and you can see it's bright green. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the time to roast. A lot of times we hear roast and peel chili and we really don't know what we're looking for. So let me walk you through that real quick because this is the first step in creating a delicious chili relleno. What I did is I have it on my comal, and what we are doing is we are starting to char the chili. You can see the black spots start to pick up, and we're going to go ahead and continue and turn those around. When I'm making my chili rellenos, I like to char and roast my chili at home because it keeps them nice and big and the nice pieces that I get to choose for myself. So as these roast on and the edges turn to a nice crisp charred part, what my secret is that once we do that, take them off, we're going to put them in a bag and we're going to cover them up and allow them to steam for 15 minutes. That allows us to very, very easily remove the skins. And let me take a moment and show you that now. This one I cooked right before you joined me in the kitchen, so I want to show you what it looks like. Once you char your chili, it's very, very easy for you just to simply peel off your skin for the chili. And that is what's going to give us that beautiful chili relleno that we love so much. Now some people like to leave a little bit of the black bits on, and I do too. It gives that nice little charred flavor. But for today, I just wanted you to see, not to be intimidated, what it's going to look like in our house when we do our chili. Now the next step that we're going to do is we're going to create just what I call a little door. We're going to make a small slit down the side, and on the inside you'll see that you'll find a little pod of seeds. So after we cut out those the seed pods that are in the center, I like to make a small little slit on the side, and I call it my little door. And you don't want to cut all the way through the chili. You want to make sure that you leave a pocket, and this is where the fun gets going. And this is where we're going to stuff our chili with this delicious cheese. Today I'm using cheddar, and I'm also using an Asadero cheese. I like to use a Mexican melting cheese. Asadero is great for melting. It has a great pull, a good cheese pull, a good cheese stretch. So we're going to go ahead and stuff that in. Sometimes when people are making chili rellenos, they like to fill the inside with mushrooms or corn or squash. You can also stuff them with ground beef that's already been cooked. There's all sorts of things that you can stuff in, but my favorite and the most traditional, the one that I grew up with, is stuffed with cheese. Now, once your chili is stuffed with cheese, you're going to simply just lay it into your flour, and this is just all-purpose flour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat it completely, and this is my trick. This trick was taught to me by a chef who worked for many, many decades at a famous restaurant on the Mesilla Plaza. And this is his trick to teach me or to help me keep all the cheese inside. So once we flour our pepper, and there's no other way to do it, guys, but using your hands. So I always like to keep a nice clean cloth ready to go. So what we do is we wrap them, dust them in flour, and we're gonna pop these in the freezer for up to an hour. And that allows everything to freeze and hold together, so when we go to fry it in our hot oil, the cheese just doesn't melt out. So I'm gonna pop these in the freezer, and that's step one. We've got 2 easy steps left. Let's go ahead and get started on those. Great, I'm glad you're here for step 2 because we're going to be making the most important part of a good chili relleno. Of course, the chili and the cheese are very, very important too, but that batter has to be perfect or it's not even worth all the time and the trouble we're going through today. Let me first show you how to do our traditional grandma style chili relleno, and that is with an egg base. Now for every relleno you make, you're going to be using 1 egg. So we're going to do a couple of eggs today. A couple of egg battered rellenos today. So I used 2 eggs and I separated the egg white and the yolk. In my mixing dish, I went ahead and I started with whipping up our egg whites, and we want to make sure that they form a peak. And that is going to be very simple. I'm just going to run it for just a minute and reconstitute them so you can see that they're coming together. That's going to make a great lovely coating for our rellenos. Now we're going to take the egg yolks that we separated and I just lightly mix those together. And what I do is I add in just a little smidge of flour. And when I say a smidge, I'm talking maybe 1 teaspoon at the very most. And what this does is it just helps us get more of a creamy custard out of our egg yolk before we mix it in. And it's important when we're adding this to our egg whites that we don't over mix it. We don't want it to go flat before we have a chance to dip our chilies in. So batter number 1, as easy as that. Adding in that delicious creamy mixture. Oh my goodness, I love the way that looks. This really reminds me of how fun it is to get into the kitchen and create traditional meals. One thing I love is the melting pot. New Mexico is such a cultural, diverse state, and we have so many different people that come in and they learn, and you can see how great that looks. It's nice and thick. That is our egg batter. That one is done. Now let's go ahead and move on to that beer batter. Our beer batter starts with 1 1/2 cup of flour. Simple and easy. For spices, I really like to spice it up. So I'm using some paprika because I love the golden color it puts out. We're also using some garlic salt, some pepper, and just a little smidge of regular salt. Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that with my whisk. Make sure all of that's incorporated. And I'm going to drop in 1 egg. Thanks for following along. This sure is a good time, and I'm glad that you guys are here. This is going to be exciting for you to take this into your kitchen. Let me know what you think about it, because sometimes making chili rellenos can be overwhelming. Now we got to put in that beer. You can use whatever you like, but I like to use, we're going to go in and we're going to use about 8 to 10 ounces, which is perfect because that leaves me a couple of ounces to take a swallow while I'm frying these. We're going to go ahead and mix that in. You can see as it incorporates, it gets to be a nice carbonated feel. Now for those of you who don't want to add beer, that's fine. Remember, all the alcohol content is going to cook off. I'm not trying to get anybody out there a little tipsy, especially when you're eating your rellenos. But you can also use a seltzer water if that's something that you prefer to do. So there we go. We have 2 delicious batters. And what we're going to do is you're going to join me back for the third part, because we're going to dip our chilies in, we're going to fry them, and we are going to put them on a plate and enjoy the heck out of them. We did it! All of that work just to get ready for the third and final part for chili rellenos. Chile rellenos are something you're going to find delicious, they're lovely, they're wonderful to eat, and I can't wait to get some feedback. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We went ahead and we popped in those chilies on the end of our last segment, and we took them out of the freezer now. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with our delicious egg batter. This is gonna be our first one that we're creating. Now, bear with me because this is a messy, messy job, and there's no way to do it without making a mess. We're gonna take one of our chilies that we worked on. It's stuffed with all that cheese, and we're gonna wrap it and lift it and put it up here in our gooey egg batter. Look at that. And then we drop it right into the hot oil. I always like to keep a nice clean damp towel. And we're gonna put this in. We're at 350 degrees. We're gonna cook it on each side. Now I keep a lot of extra tools on the side. Never doubt the power of a fork when you're in your kitchen. These are wonderful tools to use when you're working with rellenos. And we have this oil scorching hot. So at this time, oh my gosh, guys, this is like heaven. This reminds me so much of my granny. I'm gonna go ahead and splash a little bit of oil on the top. By freezing these, what we did is very similar when you're making a mozzarella cheese stick. You don't want the cheese just to boil out, so we make it nice and firm and ready to go. These are coming out lovely. Let's go ahead and do our second one. When I'm making rellenos, I always try to cook at least 2 or 3 at a time, and I never overcrowd them. We didn't go through all this trouble just to have all this delicious batter just drip off. So we'll go ahead and put those together, and you can see how thick that is. It is delicious. Dropping that right in. Do a little bit of a splash and a turn. Oh, we love that. Now these cook fairly quickly, but you want to be very careful when you're working with them. You don't want to destroy any of that tender egg batter. So let's go ahead, and we've done 2 of the egg batter traditional rellenos, and now I'm going to show you how they look next to the crispy beer batter recipe that we made on that batter there. Wonderful. These are looking delicious. The egg batter ones I really like to serve. These are perfect for serving with on a hot tortilla with lots of melted cheese, a little bit of refried beans. That's the famous way to make a chili relleno burrito. And then the crispy ones I like to plate with our salsa roja and a little bit of garnish on the side. So we're going to make those both style. And looking in at these are looking lovely. Wow. I think I'm going to give myself an A+ for my chili relleno cooking today. These are delicious. Now once they get a golden fried color, what we're going to do is we're going to take them out and we're going to put them on our wire pan, and that allows any extra oil to drip off. And we'll go ahead and we'll get started on those next 2 now. Look at that. Now if you've had a chance to see such a delicious, colored, beautiful relleno like that. And again, mixing it over. Now these cook very quickly. Remember, we've already cooked our chili, and that is already prepared. So we are now just really making sure that we cook the batter so that we can see how that looks. And it looks golden brown and delicious. Whoa, look at that. Now let's move quick. I know your time's important, and so is mine. So let's go ahead and we're going to dunk this into our beer batter. Now these are my husband's preferred style, is having the beer batter. He likes a more tempura, a crispy fry on his veggies. So we'll go ahead and we'll whip one of those up for honey. I like to leave the tails on. They become really helpful when you're frying. And we'll just shake a little bit of the excess off. And again, right in our hot oil. We're going to be real careful for splatters and splashes. Oh, that beer's talking out there. We love it. This is also a great batter that you can use for fish. You can use this also for any type of onion rings. I also like to make the jalapeno butter bottle caps. Now I'm going to be plating these with the salsa roja, And these are delicious. And remember, if you haven't had a chance to look at some of my previous videos, you want to go back, because I shared the salsa roja recipe just a couple of weeks ago, and it is delicious, and I've been getting so many compliments on how good it is. Now this cooks quick again. Watch for flying splatters and grease. Oh my gosh. There we go. This one is already ready to come out. Look at that. These ones cook very, very quickly, and that's why I like to have these prepared in stages and steps. For those of you who like to try to just make several at a time, you can freeze these up to several weeks. You can prepare and stuff your chilies and have them ready to go, and then you can pull them out and cook them as needed throughout the week. So thank you again for joining me here in the Zia Cooking Kitchen. Let me go ahead and take this delicious tortilla. I already have plenty of melted cheese. We're going to add in one of those delicious egg batter. And for this here, what I like to do and show people, and thanks for following along. You know, Carrie's always crazy and making messes in the kitchen. And so for this one, we're just going to simply do a nice little tight roll, and I'm going to show you how lovely it looks. Chop it in half, and you can see the gooey cheese inside and how delicious that looks. And let's work on this one here. Oh, guys, this kitchen's smelling like heaven. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get ready for our fancy one. And I like to take our plate with our garnish, which is just simple lettuce and tomato. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put out a little bit of that salsa roja. And doesn't that look beautiful? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put down this delicious relleno on top. Now that is it. We have two different styles of rellenos to eat. I can't wait any longer. I'm going to take a big old bite of this one right now. Hot chili, melted gooey cheese.